And Jonathan, you're from Tier 1, you're a recycling company. So tell us a bit about your company, and I'm guessing that ordinarily you wouldn't be sat next to the Marriott Hotel on a panel, would you? So how has Antz Network and Grow and Give Back worked for you in the different ways that it's worked with the Marriott?
So Jonathan Rose, I'm Managing Director of Tier 1 Asset Management. We're an IT recycling business, so we take old computers from large corporate organisations, governments, NHS trusts, bring them back, remove all data, and then we either resell, redeploy, recycle. I've been involved with Antz maybe for 4 years or so, but I want to just go back really before I got involved with Antz. I think I'm fairly typical of a small, medium enterprise business. We're 50 odd people strong, 20 years old, based in Whitefield. We employ from the local area. We've taken on people over the years from 16-year-olds who are now senior managers in the business. We try and do the right thing, but I think as a small business it's very hard sometimes to know how to do the right thing. If I look at what our CSR message has been in the past, we've done things like we're ISO 9001 and 14001, so we built a green garden to try and make our area around the business to be more acceptable for our local community. We've made sure that we recycle our packaging, do all the kind of things that are functional as far as CSR without being particularly innovative or exciting or changing lives. But I think in terms of myself as an individual, I've always done that over, from being a kid, doing youth clubs and being involved, I've always done my bit. And I think we're here to do more than just make money. Now, we are a commercial enterprise. I've been working with Antz for 4 years or so. I see Antz as alternative recruitment. There are people out there from marginalised communities that need a chance. And there are businesses that are looking for fantastic employees. We're all looking for great employees, whether they're from a background that's privileged, non-privileged, wherever they're from. I can't train someone how to have a good work ethic, how to turn up on time, to do a good day. I can't teach them. I can teach people how to dismantle a computer. I can teach them how to install Microsoft Office onto a computer. I can't teach them how to have a good work ethic. So what I've done through Antz is I've introduced to some fantastic people. I've recruited through Antz as my first kind of port of call. And I've got some people in my business now who have come through the Antz programme who are, I know they're indebted to the chance I've given them, but I don't want them to be indebted to me. They've earned the right, and they're now doing a fantastic job for me. So I would say for lots of businesses out there, put your hand up and say, I'll give someone a chance. And if we all did that, actually we'd make a huge difference.
And tell us about where you've actually engaged with some of these people, because prison isn't the obvious option for picking up fantastic new employees, is
it? No. So the prison story is, so we recycle. I had a project with the Ministry of Justice where they were looking to refresh their computers when they failed. So a lot of businesses, I don't know the background you guys come from, a lot of businesses might replace every 3, 4, 5 years. So the computers that come out work. Ministry of Justice said, no, we're going to change that. We're going to replace them when they fail. So their estate is 110,000 computers that don't work. So what do I do with 110,000 that don't work when my model is 100,000 that do work and maybe 10,000 that don't? So I was talking with Jen and with Antz and talking about potentially setting up a social enterprise initiative. And Jen mentioned to me about Forest Bank Prison, and they do workshops and they refurbish furniture and lots of stuff goes on there. And I'm thinking, okay, so prison workshop, prisoners, Ministry of Justice equipment, can we educate, train, give them opportunities? There's a ring to it there, there's an opportunity. So we went to the prison, presented our case of what we thought we could do. They liked the idea. We then went back to the Ministry of Justice through their IT provider, and they loved the idea. We actually built the workshop before we even won the contract. It was such, once we'd come across the idea, we thought, this is great. And what we've done with Antz is we donate. So through the metals that we extract out of the computers, so you can extract some value in the motherboards of gold and silver and palladium, we donate 5% of our profits back to Antz. It's matched by the prison. We recruit ex-offenders as they're going through the gate, as they're about to be released. And Antz and Daisy and her team deliver a back-to-work programme to help ex-offenders get into work. It's privately funded. I've recruited somebody through that programme, and I know lots of businesses have as well. And we've delivered back not far off £1 million worth of social value back because these people are now working, they're not taking benefits, they're volunteering, they've got accredited training, we're helping them break the cycle of crime. Hopefully we'll break their future generations of cycle of crime as well. It's not a volume business, it's a value business. But from our point of view, it makes a huge difference of trying to give the corporate back almost CSR wrapped and packed in a box with ribbons on it and say, there you go, there's your CSR initiative.
And ultimately, I guess what you're doing, it's not about handing a cheque over, it's about engaging with people, isn't it?
Oh, massively. I mean, it gets very emotional when you're involved in trying to kind of change people's lives. And I've got some great people at Tier 1 who equally want to find a way of giving back as well. So some of my team go into the prison on the recruitment days. They're actively involved in it. We work with them constantly. I mean, we've even got some of our corporates now putting together a mentoring program to sit on top of our Back to Work and Work Ready program, where they act as professional mentors for ex-offenders. So it may be that they will go through the Antz program. That might be it could be with Antz for anything from 8 weeks to 8 months. But even 2 years down the line, some of these guys still need help and support. So we've now built a mentoring program in place, delivered by this IT organisation, where their own staff provide mentoring. So it really is. It's commercial, it's charity, it's social. There's profit in there somewhere, but when you're doing it for better good, profit's not a dirty word, because it's the profit that makes it sustainable, allows us to continue it.
Well, at the start, obviously you thought it was a brilliant idea, you thought it could help people, but did you think there's a risk that this might not be commercial, that it could end up costing me money? Did you have to have confidence in the commercial model?
To a degree, but I wouldn't say only because of that. I just thought this was, even if it didn't make money, even if the prison program didn't make money, would I still do it? Yes, I would. It helps me on the socials. It certainly helps from a corporate perspective, where we win contracts because of what we do. Corporates don't actually drill down into, okay, well, how many people have you helped? They don't look at the data behind it. The data is there, it's very transparent, very proud of all of that data. But they, in a way, they almost buy it, they accept it. And what we found is that a lot of corporates have what I would class as a CSR policy, not a CSR culture. And I think what we're trying to do is help them to deliver a CSR culture by getting their own staff engaged. I've even got now the Ministry of Justice came down to the prison, saw the workshop, saw what we're doing. They now want to act as mentors. The Ministry of Justice internal staff want to act as mentors for ex-offenders through the programme.
So in a lot of ways, as you taking that leap of faith, it's opened up opportunities, has it, as well as...
Absolutely, 100%, yeah. And I know that what we're doing is, not every business can come up with this kind of initiative, which is why I say what we need as these people come through the programme is businesses, charities, to open up the doors and say, I'll give somebody a chance. Because that's what we need at the end of it. All the education and training in the world is great. What these guys, if you want them to stop breaking or break that cycle of crime, it's not rocket science, is it? They need a job. They need to want to make a change. Not all of them do. So those that want to make a change, give them the tools to do it. The tools are, give them a job.
And obviously many years ago you set up your recycling business. What would you have said then if someone had said in a few years' time you'll be changing the lives of all these people in prison?
I mean, it's when I go and see customers now, and customers visit us, we always do. The prison are fantastic with us. We've got a great relationship with the prison. I've had the governor of the prison coming along and doing presentations to my corporate clients about what we do. So impressed are they, and so fundamental to the workings and success of the prison. Because at the end of the day, what's the Ministry of Justice and Prisons about? Is it to incarcerate or is it to rehabilitate? And ultimately, whilst we may all have been victims of crime somewhere down the line, if we bury our heads in the sand, it ain't going to get any better. So yeah, it's just trying to stop it at some point. And even though what we're doing might only affect 10 people a year, 10 to 12 people a year, 10 years down the line has a huge impact. So I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I spend most of my time talking about it than I do about my business.
All right, thank you, John.